Hello, Mr. Basil. How's it going, sir?
Very well, Alex. How are you, man?
I'm good, sir. So, yeah, we've got a nice one this week. Actually, fairly recent, I think it came up on Netflix. It's called A Current War.
Yes.
Obviously, current stands for not being contemporary, is being a war of the currents.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what is based on, is the fight between two big inventors of the 1800s, I believe, towards the end of the 1800s. Thomas Edison and George
1900s.
Westinghouse.
1900s, wasn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
yeah. So Thomas Edison and George Westinghouse, all in the States. Thomas Edison just invented the direct current, by the sounds of it. This is all from the film that I found out, and I had to research it afterwards. So he's invented direct current, is gaining a lot of popularity in with the businesses and with the states, as in it's starting to roll out and becoming more popular. And then George Westinghouse invents the alternate current, I believe it's called, yeah,
Yeah.
which basically means that the current flows both directions instead of just one direction like Edison's. And this film is all about the competition, because these two inventors lived. I mean, what exciting times, because other important people lived at the same time. But these two inventors, during their lifetime, they had a constant competition and fight between themselves, both public, both via patents they owned, both financially, and the film shows beautifully this story between them. And they're both played by, I mean, Thomas Edison is Benedict Cumberbatch, and then George Westinghouse is Michael Shannon, which is two fantastic actors at the prime of their game, to be honest, in this film.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, what did you thought of it, man?
Yeah, very interesting storyline. You know, we've all heard of Edison. I personally hadn't heard of Westinghouse, and I don't think you have either, have you,
Me either.
Alex?
No, me either.
Complete
Yeah.
unknown person in history for
Yeah.
me, and I didn't realise he had such a massive influence in the making of electricity as we know today, essentially. You know, and
Yes,
yeah, again
absolutely.
with Edison, it's that name that's thrown around. You know, you'll hear it on pub quizzes and stuff like that, but you don't really know the story of Edison. You just know that he was a genius. He had a lot of geniuses working underneath him, and he invented stuff on a daily basis. You know, so this gives a really good insight into that world. And
Yes.
And yeah, it was fantastic to just see it unfold, the dichotomy between, because at first Westinghouse, he wants to partner up with Edison.
Correct.
And Edison,
Correct.
he quickly realises, well, in this film, he's painted as very stubborn, very sticking to his guns, and he's got a set of code that which is quite respectable in the film, really. Which he likes to stick to. And it even goes as far to say that he will sacrifice profits to keep his set of code in line, you know. I mean, and that's why Westinghausen is so successful, because he can do what Edison's doing for 70% of a cheaper price most of the time.
Yes.
And obviously that's great to see in the film, you know, unfold. But you know, there's a lot of dirty trickery as well going on. So, you know,
Absolutely.
the media is showcased in the film a lot. There's a lot of scenes where Westinghausen and Edison are being interviewed by the media, and obviously that's massively influential because everyone's reading newspapers and they get it from one source. There's a lot of dirty foul play between both of them to shame each other in the film, isn't there?
Correct. Yeah. Especially by Edison, to be honest, because there's some moral questions there that he has to ask himself at one point in the film, when they're talking about what's the voltage to use to basically kill a person on the electric chair.
Yeah.
So this was at the time when he was just barely coming into capital punishment was there, but it was by hanging, which was a bit cruel. So they said, let's invent something that makes it a bit more humane to execute the person. And they asked Edison, they asked Edison what's the perfect voltage to just kill somebody instantly. And he has to think about, you know, do I actually give this information, or do I work it out, or do I advise the government to do this or not?
Or do I risk them trying to do it themselves and then they end up burning a guy alive because the voltage is too high, or the voltage is too low, so they're just boiling his brain? And that was a moral question, you know.
The risk that sort of decision comes with. But also I found that the way the characters are portrayed was very good, because Edison seemed like the pure genius from the two, between George Westinghouse and Edison. Because he was so genius, it comes with that stubbornness, because genius people can't see besides their vision, and there's no other way. But George Westinghouse was an inventor, but also a bit of an entrepreneur, and understood what it takes to get it out there. That's why
I think he understood the economics more, didn't he, of what it takes to the money, so to speak, essentially.
Because he's already rich. When Edison is starting to roll out his invention, he's already rich from George Westinghouse is already rich from a previous invention, which is the train air brake.
The brakes on the train.
Brakes for the trains, And then he's just trying to partner with him and to roll this out properly. But there is a scene at the end when they finally get to speak with each other after all this battle. That was really smart. I think is one of the best scenes.
I think you're referring to the fence scene. The fence scene,
exactly, man.
Yeah.
What
I mean, it's a great little, beautiful kind of metaphorically speaking scripture at the end. To be honest, really, and you can't say either one of them are wrong. You know, it's literally just the characters in a sentence.
But the little story portrays the two characters perfectly, because they're thinking different ways, and you can exactly see what George Westinghouse, how he thinks and how Edison thinks, and all of that. So it's beautiful, considering Nikola Tesla was also working for Westinghouse at the time. You notice that? Tesla.
Yeah, that name. Yeah, I mean that word is obviously
the Tesla that invented. Yeah. Another good inventor.
Is that name just carried on down the generations then?
Yes.
The Tesla.
Yeah,
name.
well, Tesla is invented. He was an inventor of, I can't remember what, but that's the famous inventor. That's what it is.
But is Elon Musk just using that name for? He's
using that. Yes, he is. Yeah.
Okay.
He's using for his company because it's electric, basically.
So it's not like the family bloodline of Tesla has had any part in making those cars.
No, nothing to do with it. No, it's just it's so funny because Tesla, the character, is really young in this film and starting up, and it turns out that he was like that naive all his life. I read about him, and it's actually towards the end of his life he starts to become a bit more famous for his inventions. But
because he always got bastardsized for just saying this stuff would work, but not actually putting it into practice. Yeah, he gets
and asking for money.
Yes.
And asking for money without saying, well, is this working or not? Well, give me money and I'll show you if it works or not. So
literally, it's that catch-22 thing, isn't it? It's like, I need your money to show you it works. It's like, well, can you show me it works first? No, I need your money first. And that was his kind of storyline throughout the whole film. But I thought it was very good. I did also like the way it was filmed as well. I think it was very modern. It was very modern.
Very stylistic.
You get these period dramas, and they kind of follow a flow to them. They have, when you see films that are in the 1900s and it's like 18 or whatsoever, and they've kind of got a flow to them. This, to me, seemed like a very modern take on a film, a period drama.
I personally like that.
I can't even really explain it. I think the soundtrack and the way it was filmed and the lighting.
I agree.
It just managed to break the film up a little bit, as well as it being a really interesting storyline. There's a great way of showing it.
And it also keeps the camera keeps moving. It's very rare that has a couple of scenes when it's static, the camera, but it keeps flowing and it's really, I liked it. It was very stylistic and it was very different to see.
It was modern, wasn't it? It was a modern way of showing that era. Yeah.
But what a film indeed. It was a good surprise because I was a bit to start with. But
all you've got to be is interested in history to enjoy this film. I think, quite simply, and then anything else is a bonus. The acting's a bonus, the way it's filmed, and so on.
Correct. Yeah. So it's called a Current War on Netflix. We've seen it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, man. Cool. Talk to you next week.
Right. Take care, Alex. Bye.
All right. Bye.